I'm Laura Thomas. I served for 8 years as a Douglas County Commissioner. And based on all of that experience, I frankly don't see why we are considering home rule in Douglas County. It's not going to accomplish what we're being told. We are not going to be able to opt out of state laws we don't like. And in the long run, I think it's going to end up costing Douglas County taxpayers more money.
A home rule is a way to have a little tighter control over the things that are within the bounds of your county.
The county commission has stated that they want to use home rule status to ignore state law. They say this explicitly on our county government website. It is not clear at all that they can do that. That's not what home rule is for. And the one time another county has tried to evade state law by claiming home rule status, they got smacked down by the Colorado Supreme Court.
When I learned on March 24th that the county commissioners were going to put home rule on the ballot the next day, I frankly was shocked because I've been watching what's been going on and I have not heard the words home rule mentioned since I left office on December 6th of 2024.
And it appeared to come out of nowhere. No public comment, no public meetings, just an announcement with an expensive special election and a very tight timeline.
Why didn't they do this in 2024 or 2026 when you'd have high turnout in a general election and you wouldn't have to pay $500,000 for a special election? You could do it off the primary and then the general election. But the way they're doing this, it's obviously a bad thing because you don't shove something down people's throat in the dark of night.
I'm not quite understanding why we're in a hurry. Anytime anything's rushed, it always gives you pause and makes you start reflecting on why now and why not next year. And we have an off election this year, so you have less time to prepare for people who are less engaged. So you have a smaller population of people who are going to be voting, which could have been the tactic. All I can say is if you're doing it for all the right reasons, you want the most people educated and the most people showing up to vote for it to show the most buy-in from your community. But that's not how it's happening.
Last month, Robert Marshall, a Democrat, and Julie Gooden, an unaffiliated voter, and myself filed a lawsuit in Douglas County District Court because we frankly had smoking gun evidence that our 3 county commissioners, they were sneaking around behind closed doors, violating Colorado's open meeting laws.
It is very disturbing, especially how they blatantly violated all the open meeting laws. No one knew about this home rule thing.
I believe that there was a meeting held back in January with the 3 county commissioners and every Republican elected in Douglas County to discuss this home rule process. It was all done behind closed doors.
The complaint is they have broken the law. They have made decisions behind closed doors, which is against the law.
I'm a Republican, and this is not a partisan issue, having secret meetings. Every citizen, no matter what your registration is, should be concerned about your government sneaking around behind your back.
Our Republican Douglas County lawmakers have been in the news lately because they want to use our law enforcement, Douglas County Sheriff, funded by our taxpayer dollars, to cooperate with ICE, the agency who has been sweeping people off the street and sending them to prison out of the country without due process.
We have a corrupt county commission structure trying to entrench their power against the people.
You know, a couple other things I've heard them talk about is that they're going to fix it so when we go to the grocery store, we don't have to pay that dime for the grocery bag. Folks, again, that's another whopper that they've cooked up. We do not have the ability to supersede state law. Saying things like the sheriff is not going to enforce any gun control laws. And folks, I've heard a commissioner say that's what it's going to say. Douglas County is going to be embroiled in costly lawsuits for years and years.
The problems that they're putting forth to solve are not problems they're going to be able to solve. It's a little bit of a false flag. It's a big false flag. They are misinforming and they are not being honest about what they're going to be able to change. Attempting to get yes votes for home rule by saying that home rule allows Douglas County to usurp state law, which it does not.
That they'll be able to ignore state gun laws. Absolutely false. The other day, just yesterday, we understand that Commissioner Van Winkle, in a presentation to the county GOP at Castle Rock, told them they'd be able to outlaw abortion in Douglas County if they had home rule. Absolutely false. So if they're making this stuff up, you got to wonder what's really going on behind the scenes.
I think what really upsets me about all of this discussion about home rule is that we are being told this is the way that Douglas County can opt out of all of these laws. And that, frankly, is a bold-faced lie.
The absolute is vote no and get everyone you know to vote no. And they are counting on this being a low turnout election, and it likely will be. So your vote will be worth a lot.
Now, I'm going to be voting no because we don't nearly have enough time to understand all the consequences of that vote. And I encourage all of you to vote no as well.